my name is Alicia Moulton with the Honey Company, and today I'm here to talk to you about a versatile and very attractive piece of beekeeping equipment called the Barn Hive. This is one of those luxury beekeeping items which isn't really necessary to have a hive, but will really enhance your beekeeping experience, and we think you're really going to like this. The Barn Hive has a pitched roof, and then it kind of reminds me of a gambrel style barn. And then it has an upper entrance here for the bees to use, and an entrance also down here for the bees to use. And so this pitched part comes off, and then there's an inner cover here that can be used both to vent steam in the winter or so that you can access the side bays without disturbing the bees. The Barn Hive has 3 bays built in. So on this side is kind of a storage compartment. Here we have 5 frames, like a 5-frame nuke box, and over here is a really cool feeder. In the storage bay, we store things like a Hive Tool. You need one of these to get in the hive every time, and we've gone out to the bee yard enough times and forgotten this that we like to keep one on hand. We have some spare smoker fuel. We always use old burlap for that, or dry weeds, but burlap works great. We have some queen marking tools like this paint, a lighter to start our smoker, and a notebook and pencil to keep records at the apiary. On this side also you can see an observation window, and this observation window is quite cool to be able to look in on the bees without disturbing them. So you can see a few empty frames in the front and then some with some drawn comb there. And you can just watch the bees' progress as they build comb. We like to start a lot of packages in the Barn Hive and then just watch them grow. This middle part comes with 5 deep middle bar frames, like so, and the intent is to use them foundationless. The original initial design plan for this box was to enable beekeepers to produce comb honey, and then maybe if they produce comb honey they wouldn't have to buy an expensive extractor. So if we have a 5-frame box rather than a 10-frame box, it condenses the bees into a smaller space and allows them to draw the comb out more evenly and all the way to the corners more quickly. And so we use that for comb production. It works really well for that. In the feeder bay we have, this type of feeder that's kind of just an open hole like this is notorious for drowning bees. So we've made a few modifications to make that a little better. The first modification is this float with the slits here. And so what happens is when you pour the sugar syrup or the honey in that you're feeding with, this will float up to the top. And then when bees crawl through the opening, they can land on here, stick their mouth parts through the slit, and suck up some honey, and then go back into the hive and share it with their baby bee friends or consume it themselves. So this is one modification. Another thing is that we've completely finished the inside of this feeder and caulked it so that it's watertight, and then we painted it with some really coarse grit paint, and that grit allows the bees to crawl up the side if their wings are wet and they can't fly. You can restrict access to the feeder by opening or closing this door here. Something that helped me understand how the Barn Hive worked was to see the bottom of the hive. So I'll kind of turn it like this. So this is the bottom, and you can see those 2 closed bays with an open center. It's filled with frames now. And then you can see that it's the same width as a standard length box on the bottom. But then on the top, it can kind of work as a transition between a 10-frame length box and a 5-frame nuke box like this. So I could keep bees this way, where I put the nuke box here on top of the Barn Hive with this pitched roof on top, and it looks kind of cool, and maybe is different style of barn, but it looks pretty cool still. And then it allows people who have a hard time lifting heavy weights, you know, maybe they would have a hard time lifting a 10 frame deep Langstroth box full of honey, where maybe they wouldn't have such a hard time lifting this 5 frame Langstroth box full of honey. So it allows you to do a different kind of super if you wanted to. Lastly, I'll tell you about this lid. It's very cool because it has the sloped side so that it allows moisture to run off of it instead of just sit on the flat surface. And then we often get questions about how this does in the wind. Like some other lids can tend to flip off in heavy winds. And we actually have had a lot of luck with having our lids stay on the Barn Hive. But if this is a concern for you, and if you've had lids flip in the past, then we recommend just taking a brick or something with, you know, the bricks have a hole in them, and just sticking a stick through that and resting that, you know, kind of in a triangle shape on top of this roof. And that prevents the lids from flipping off. But we have some pretty high wind apiaries, and we haven't had any issues with the Barn Hive lids flipping off. They're pretty heavy. So we hope that you love the Barn Hive as much as we do, and we'll link below with our website and information about purchasing this Barn Hive. You can pick it up locally, or we can ship it anywhere in the US. So thanks for watching.